It's an interesting landscape right now with Kevin Owens. His contract is coming up supposedly around January of 2022, and the big rumor and speculation right now is, could he be going to another company? Could he be leaving WWE? So today on the show, we're going to go through some of the reasons why it's a really good idea that Kevin Owens heads over to AEW and becomes All Elite. I love Kevin Owens. I love everything he's done in WWE. Universal Champion, Intercontinental Champion, the feud with Jericho, the lifetime feud with Sami Zayn. I mean, there's so much to enjoy from his in-ring work, his creativity, and just like I love his character overall and what he has done with it over the years. But I can't help but feel like his time is up with WWE. Owens posted those tweets like a week or two ago where he put in the GPS coordinates for Mount Rushmore, and as you know, Mount Rushmore Wrestling, where it's him, the Young Bucks, and Adam Cole, baby, boom. And then he deletes the tweet, and then he puts in for his location to say almost there, and the Young Bucks start playing along too by putting in their location as there. So it starts to obviously make us all think that Owens is on his way out of WWE. One of the reasons why I think it's a good idea for him to go over to All Elite Wrestling is that from a creativity standpoint, I don't think there's any more that Kevin Owens can do in WWE. His placement on the card has gone up and down over the years. We've seen him in massive WrestleMania matches. We've seen him in amazing feuds. We've seen him hold the championships. One of my favorite Owens moments, well, two of them actually, are when he debuted on Monday Night Raw against John Cena as the NXT champion and took on Cena as the US champion. I loved how they brought him in. The other one was when he won the Universal title in that Fatal 4-Way match, and Triple H helped him win the Universal Championship. It felt new, it felt fresh, and I've always loved what they've done with Owens over the years. He's mixed it up with the McMahon family. They've always given him a lot to work with. His even most recent feud, where he was fighting Roman Reigns for several months, I still thought was pretty compelling, even though they were doing it throughout the Thunderdome. But I can't help but feel like he's done it all, and time's up. What else can you do? And that's what I feel like it has happening with so many stars in WWE that we know from over the last couple of years. When I think of guys like Adam Cole, like Bryan Danielson, like Kevin Owens, even Sami Zayn, and a lot of others, I feel like they have done everything they can do creatively within the structure of WWE main roster. What else could they do? I don't see Owens doing much more with the company. In fact, right now, what is he actually doing? So that's why, for one reason, why I think AEW will be really, really cool. It's for one of the first reasons is that creativity. Give Owens that freedom, Kevin Steen that freedom to be able to do more on the microphone, have better storylines that maybe he can have a lot more input in, and tell those compelling stories that can last several months. The other reason why I feel like Owens is really suited for AEW is going to be the feuds. It gets hard when you have a star like Kevin Owens, where we've seen him on Raw and SmackDown and NXT and Raw and SmackDown again and again. He's versatile and he can go kind of anywhere. That's what's great about him. But at the same time, it's also led to him taking on everybody in the roster. I feel like he's feuded with everybody, and that's not a knock against him. It's just that they can slot him in there to take on guys like AJ Styles, Jericho. He can take on Roman Reigns. He can take on anybody, and it's going to work up and down that card. But at this point, who else can he actually fight that's going to not feel like it's just a rehash or that they're spinning their wheels? That's why AEW, I feel like it's just fresh. You get new feuds, people that he's never fought or people that he has not fought with in over 10 years. Let me see him against Adam Cole. Let me see him against Bryan Danielson, the Young Bucks, Cody, Malachi Black. Like, up and down the roster, you could do so much, and then you can get into dream match territories where could we get CM Punk versus Kevin Owens? AEW provides a fresh landscape for so many stars, and that's why I think it would work really well for a guy like Kevin Owens. The other reason is that I don't think Owens is going to main event anytime in the near future. I think his days of being a WWE champion, Universal champion, main event star, I think those days within WWE are behind him. And it's not that I want that. I just feel like right now, with the direction WWE is going, they want spectacle, they want larger than life, and they want that top of the card to feel extraordinary and special. And because they build guys like Bob Lashley, Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Goldberg they love to throw in there. They want big spectacle, big time players at the top. And even to do a little more spectacle, what we saw even with SmackDown, you have the Demon Finn Balor making its return to take on Roman Reigns, and that's more spectacle. Owens doesn't provide that spectacle feeling anymore, and he's already done those feuds, like we said, where he has fought Roman Reigns. So I think that his time at the top would be behind him, and he would be slotted in the mid-card like he's been doing, where he's been having great matches and continuing the feuds with Sami Zayn. But I worry that he would also, and this goes into my next point, that Owens, like Sami Zayn, get into the role of being the celebrity superstar, where they team him up with the Logan Pauls of the world and whatever celebrity they want to bring in for their pay-per-views. They mix them up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And by doing that, yeah, it's fun, and Owens can make it serious or he can make it silly and funny. It can work. But when you get slotted in there, like Braun Strowman has in the past, I always feel it brings them down a notch, because you want to see those big time superstars in big matches. And it's big moments to work with the celebrity stuff, but I feel like that's good for an up and coming star. And once you start getting into more established stars, I feel like it's, well, we don't have anything for this guy, so let's put him in with the next flavor of the month that we want to team him up with and put him in a tag match, and it will be fine because he's a good worker and he will make it work. And I feel like if he goes over to AEW, that's not something he needs to worry about. They're not going to put him in a position where he's going to be slotted low on the card or having to deal with the silliness that WWE brings. The other thing too is that I think that schedule is a big one. With WWE going full-time again and going on the road, Owens is getting a little bit later in his career. He still has several years of great matches ahead of him if he wants to continue to wrestle all the time. But AEW does something really great, which is they don't have the really, really heavy schedule that you're used to seeing with WWE, creating a lot of burnt out and a lot of stars getting injured and kind of getting negative towards the business in general because they work so hard and so many dates. AEW does a really good thing where they alleviate that pressure. They've got a couple of shows they can put you on and the pay-per-views, but they don't have to bring you on every single week. That can keep a star like Owens really fresh and keep him towards the top of the card. So again, it feels like with the crop of stars that we have had for the last 5-10 years, I feel like that era of superstars, the 2015s to 2022, with a lot of their contracts coming up, a lot of them already going over to AEW, I feel like that era of stars is going to very much make a shift over to AEW, and WWE seems to be okay with that because they want to be able to have those larger than life spectacle stars like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at the top of the card, and they fill out the rest with a so-so mid card. Not that the talent can't deliver, they absolutely can deliver main event matches. But WWE doesn't put the creative push behind them on the men's side or the women's side. And to me, that's a big problem with what you're trying to do, because what if somebody like Roman Reigns at the very top gets injured and you got to roll somebody else up that you haven't really built up? It can put WWE in a hard spot, but again, I don't think that they're eager to re-sign people like Kevin Owens, even though they 100% should, because he is a massive talent and it's a massive loss for WWE, and it's a incredible gain for AEW and Tony Khan. What do you think about Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen heading over to AEW? What are your reasons why he should head over there? And what feuds do you want to see him in? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Consider subscribing to the channel, give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell if you can. And as always, thank you all for assembling with us. See ya.